Well, hello, everybody. I just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself and my guest here tonight. This is Scott Nelson, and I am a founding member and global leader with OnPassive. I feel greatly privileged tonight to be able to have two very, very talented and wonderful gentlemen on this interview tonight. This interview is going to be including our CEO and founder of OnPassive, Ash Mufareh, and one of our brand new founders and internet marketing, social media masters, Mr. Eric Green. And Eric has put together some questions and just basically going to keep this very simple and short tonight. And it's going to be for those people that want to know a little bit more about OnPassive and the vision of our founder, being able to hear some of the things as he responds to the questions from Eric. So without any further ado, Eric, we want to welcome you and thank you for jumping on this interview tonight. And Ash, thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule to be able to join us tonight.
Hey, Scott, thank you so much. Hey, guys, Eric Green here. Now, if you're listening to this, obviously, you know me. We've either worked together, you follow me. We've been in various programs together, and we've been around this internet marketing game for a while. And what I wanted to do, this is an interesting situation, and I really I reached out to Scott. Scott is who I joined or decided to become a founding member with OnPassive. You know, Scott's been in the industry 25 years, but he just super professional, down to earth, great guy, got on the phone with me, you know, shared his passion for this. And I told Scott, and just like I told all of you guys know me, many of you very well, that I'm doing something here that I rarely do. I hardly ever do. I hardly ever join something prior to it officially rolling out and launching. I just don't. I typically, look for things that are more seasoned or been on the market for a while. But for some reason, I kept coming back to this, and I can't really put a finger on why. But the one thing that I can tell you guys over my career and my experience in this industry is anytime I've got a really strong gut feeling or had intuition about something, it's almost always worked out and been successful. And so I tend to listen to my intuition and listen to my gut. And, I kept telling myself if Ash, which I'm going to interview you real quick here, Ash, but if I said, even if Ash, does 25% of what he says he's going to do, I think we have something here that's going to be a global viral, monster that's going to shake up the industry. And so with that said, it was a no-brainer for me. I'm like, I keep coming back to this. I'm going to do it. So I know many of you guys are out there. You're now just starting to get exposed to this, and I really wanted you to meet the man behind it, and just ask Ash a few questions. Now, Ash, you've been in this industry for quite a while. The one thing I even told Scott that I really appreciated was, a lot of people try to launch marketing systems or programs who maybe have a great technical background or, a great business background, but they don't have success inside of the actual home-based business industry and understand the pulse of the industry itself. And I was pleasantly surprised and excited that not only, do you have the pedigree from the technical side and all that fun stuff to actually even pull this off, but you've had great success inside the industry. You understand the industry and the plight of the average person just trying to go out there and figure out a way to make some extra income to help their family. So I'd love for you at first just to kind of introduce yourself really quickly, that elevator speech, and talk a little bit about sort of your background in the industry and who you are for people that may not know you that are listening.
I'm very delighted to be here, and I am so pleased to do this with you, Eric and Scott, true leaders and caring marketers about doing. I couldn't be more happy to do this. I would love to continue the dialogue. As you just asked one of the points, actually, I never, it's never been pointed out so far, the truth is I didn't come to the industry in the beginning about roughly 20 years, not to do the traditional things like reasons people come to the industry. They are running out of options outside the, let's say, or maybe in the regular employment arena, and maybe they're looking for their income, supplement income, or some maybe they just are excited about the possibility is definitely very promising, and the lifestyle of the internet come. And I came in the beginning to very specific reason: freedom and time freedom. Uh, Career was good, income excellent, above average. Everything was good position. I just didn't have time to do what I like to do in my life and personal life. So that was my primary attraction. And I was very determined to figure out how to do this. If you have the common sense and basic traditional business principles, it can apply to a degree here. There are some challenges on our in our industry because most people come without having the time to spend to acquire the knowledge or experience to practice this type of business. They take it's a quick form online, and I'm in business. Look at the top or the max of the pay plan. I'll be a millionaire very soon. That is the main misconception. It is a true business. It's a real business like everything else. You have to have the knowledge. You have to have the tools. You have the mindset. You have to have the determination. It's a whole set. In fact, it takes more of the entrepreneurship mentality because nobody to supervise and you're on your own for the most part. What I love about your question is when you mentioned I had my success, okay, and my background. Not only that, I was actually very happy in many experiences and specific businesses we practiced in the last 15, 20 years or so. However, we were able to help many individuals from different backgrounds and different uh, walks of life all over the place. We just got to a point that not only us, it's the companies. And that's the exact point I was really not expecting that you point out this very like immediately. The truth is we can build a business. There, there are enough people on the planet or on the Wild Web that are interested in our concept, whether they come like me for the freedom or others for a retirement backup plan or for the income supplement or for maybe financial freedom or financial security or tax benefits. The reasons are, uh, many, but mainly we do have a very good desire that this is a very attractive concept. It just not enough companies that will hold up long enough. And that was the turning point in 2018 and end of 2017 when I reached a point that it's not only the individuals, the affiliates, the members, or the networkers we can build regardless. It will come to it will boil down to two factors. Okay, it's a two way street. It is the business that we possess and the people who will build that business. So let's say we take care of everything. We can duplicate. We can invite many exciting individuals all but then the company will have a flaw. So also convey one point. You mentioned if we deliver 25% of what is outlined so far for OnPassive. I say this: we are in pre-launch for OnPassive. Purposely, we didn't put out everything we have in in our bucket or tank, purposely, due to compliance, and we want to make sure we know who is with us. And before we hit the bucket, we will just basically shock everybody. To be truthful, okay, whether we deliver 25% or more, what is there, I can tell you easily, it's less than 25%. So it is X or 10X of what we know. And if we deliver, the 25%, that eventually, I don't know how mathematically I could clarify this, but we are going to deliver more than what our founders expect so far. They really know some, not everything, intentionally. Not that we don't want to tell them, but definitely I like to tell what they need to know. Enough for now, but it will only get better. The more they know, the more exciting there will be about this, and perhaps results will speak. So I always like to show a little bit results, and then back it up with the facts and talk. But first, I like to walk the walk before we talk the talk. I really appreciate the question, Eric.
I love it. I love it. So Ash, I want to assume that, I want you to assume that you and I are sitting across from each other. Now, with this question, I don't want to necessarily, you're not talking to someone new, right? So you're sitting across from me or someone that's been involved in internet marketing, and they know terms like autoresponders or webinars or SMS messaging and these sorts of things. Can you describe what you can? Some of the things that the capabilities are that the system will have, and why an internet marketer or somebody who has some experience marketing online is going to be so excited about taking a hold of this program and really pushing it out to the marketplace. Because really, I think I have a lot of internet marketing contacts, and the problem is, I think sometimes internet marketers get a little bit of a bad rap. And the reason I say that is because they've worked really hard to build a list. They've worked really hard to educate themselves on how to be successful online marketers, but they really want people to be successful. And sometimes it's hard because some of the programs, most of the programs on the market, obviously they have a list, they know how to market, they know how to advertise, they know how to drive traffic and to do well. But it's very difficult for someone new to come in and create success a lot of times with those programs. And sometimes the internet marketer gets the finger pointed at them like, oh, well, you're having success, but none of us are having any success. And that's really not their goal. But at the same time, you can't teach someone years of internet marketing, in 2 days to go out and learn all the things that they had to learn to be successful. So this is one of the things that I thought was powerful with OnPassive is, as an internet marketer, it's a system that's going to be super powerful, something that you can tap in immediately and use the tools that are going to be available in the system. But also the system itself is set up where that new person coming in really has an opportunity to succeed and to win, because the system is really going to be, through the technology working on their behalf. And helping them succeed, which I think is going to put a lot of internet marketers in really a great position where they can go out and do very well financially, but, they can also be proud that they're putting a system in people's hands that have never really had success with online marketing or home-based business programs, and their folks are having success. Can you talk a little bit about, your vision and what you've put together that would be so exciting for an online marketer?
I appreciate this, and this is again another very powerful point. Are you sure, Scott, we're going to do this in 30 minutes? Because now he's going to get me to the tools and all the mechanics with OnPassive. Okay.
We can go a little further. Go ahead.
But we have to help me out to have a couple of things in our background, because you mentioned the newbies who may have the tools and terminology, but not necessarily grasp everything. And we got the seasoned marketers like yourself and Scott and all other great leaders around this concept. At the same time, in the back of our head, we always have to remember, okay, no matter how gorgeous and which Scott just mentioned that, and I love when he brings the point. No matter how gorgeous is the website or the platform or the tools or all of that, if it's not with the ethical, the transparent leadership, if it's not with a company that has logical mathematical plan that makes, if it is with a company that doesn't have the right support or the right experienced and talent engineers, it will at some point will come out short. I don't want to say uh, a guaranteed failure, but there are those variables which is on the company side. We can go just not so far if that is not taken care of. So always we have to have those two connected together. So we got the company and we got the users of the company, and they can be at different levels. One of our challenges in the past is we presented solutions. Okay, let's say when we had a decent company to market, we basically had people who would follow instructions, who are motivated, like-minded. They have what it takes to do it if we provided the tools. But the vast majority, we discovered over the years, that no matter how much help you give them the education, you give them the tools, you give them the resources, you give them guidance, everything, and still they cannot make it for some reason. Now, this could be a very complex dialogue, because the reasons are different. It definitely, for the most part, they would depend on the individuals and the mindset they have when they first came into the industry. If everything was based on the wrong mentality, then it's hard to retrieve a very healthy business relationship here. So for the newbies, here is my focus, because if we give them two things, if we give them a viable business concept and a business model that would last, first of all, the many challenges we've experienced recently, the legality about things are just money game, scam, get rich quick, and just meaningless business models. And that's just what it does, is simply going to disappoint them and will actually emphasize and increase their incompetence and their say lack of trust and mistrust with the market. And of course, needless to say, they would lose money and time is the only thing we cannot recycle. So that is the problem when we have a good business model, and they don't have the knowledge what to look for a good business model. So they jump. Scott tells them this is a good deal. They would trust and take the leap of faith, and then jump and see what happens. So they're not necessarily having a logical, rational evaluation and due diligence to jump. If they like Ash, they like his sound, they like the website. Okay, it looks good. Let's do it. See what happens. Nothing is going to happen if the business model is not concrete, is not ethical, it's not from the core, based on reality, then it's just not going to go that far. So for those, if we attract them, I don't have percent. This is something I promise you I'm not going to do. I'm not going to tell you 90%. I'm not going to tell you 95%. I don't have verifiable statistic, but I know it's the vast majority of the market. We're talking about tens of millions of individuals. They don't have that knowledge, whether to find a business or that is a good fit to their lifestyle and their abilities, or to practice that business or to run that business. So, and that was something where we based our business. We have to make sure those individuals have a chance to succeed. In fact, if it's on them, our business again is just going to be another one and won't go so far. So before we go anywhere, I made sure the way the business is set up to take care of the little guy, the newbie, the people who are not knowledgeable. They might have incredible knowledge and expertise in different areas of life, but not necessarily in technology or digital marketing. And if we presented a plug and play model to them, it's huge. Remember who follows them, the seasoned and experienced marketers. So we got to take care, let's say, can I call it little fish, and then the sharks will follow. If we flip it the other way around, okay, I'm going to also touch up on the experienced people, but the newbies, I will give you the analogy. If you purchase a device, whether it's a cell phone or a computer, and if most people, all computer users, they have to download softwares or set it up and do the configurations and the operation system and all the uh, technicalities that involved, most people would never be able to actually run a computer. What we need to is to turn it like a switch on and off and go browse and surf the internet and watch videos and communicate and send and receive emails. That's all, as most users. And if we have it to where it would rely on their knowledge in computers, then most people wouldn't even buy, or if they buy, it just will be collecting dust in their homes. So the reality is we had to create a system where it's plug and play. It's already there, it's installed, and everything is configured. You just have to plug in the power, and that's it. Maybe you just register to be on board. It's that simple. If they can come in, there's nothing to actually do further. So that is more important than the seasoned one, because the seasoned will just it gets better because they already know the game and they will appreciate the tools. Now I can talk mechanically with the seasoned and experienced marketers. Now,
Hey, Ash, before you
yeah,
do that, so let me understand this right, as from the newbie perspective. So the, I'm not I'm an online marketer. I write copy. I'm sort of that brain, but I'm not a technical guy, right? So I like to keep things sort of, I need things really simple, analogies that are super simple that I can relate to. So what you're saying with the OnPassive system is what most newbies go out there and they join, and I know if they're listening and I hate we throw around the word newbie. Don't take that the wrong way if you're listening to this. You're just new to this. And Ash mentioned you may be a lawyer and really good at what you do, and or a doctor or anything, right? But you just aren't familiar with the, with online programs and this type of world. The problem is, and I know a lot of people that are listening to this that are new, they've joined many deals. And like you said, they come in and it's almost like, hey, here's the nice, beautiful, shiny car, and there's really no, but what they forgot to tell you was, there's no engine. I mean, it's nice, and you can get in, and the leather's nice, and it smells nice, but you're not going to move off the lot, right? Unless you can go into the garage and figure out how to assemble an engine, which is how to actually go market and advertise and learn all these things that really, in many cases, they don't tell you have to learn. They just hype you up to get you in a deal, and you see success from someone that already has the skill set in the background, but they don't tell you that guy spent 10 years trying to figure out how to become.
I love the
a good
analogy,
marketer.
Eric. Just to touch up on the luxurious car, yeah, we can have the vehicle. Not only they tell you it doesn't have fuel, they tell you, well, now you need to learn how to manufacture fuel and keep it fueled all the time. You know what I'm relating to
Yeah,
now. That is
you're
the most complicated piece of it.
Yeah, and you're putting together a system, from what I gather here, that
Self-fueled,
a newbie,
yes.
it's almost like a self-driving car, where now they're coming in going, well, wait a minute, yeah, I don't understand how this works, and I don't even have to get behind the driver's seat and push the gas or put my hands on the wheel. I can sit in the passenger seat of OnPassive, and I'm in a self-driving business opportunity for the first time ever, because the technology that you're putting together is going to go out and find the traffic, filter the traffic, bring the eyeballs, help close and bring people into the business, through this self-driving OnPassive car that they get to sit in the passenger seat and enjoy the ride with. So that's sort of what pops into my mind for the newbie. And there's that's exciting. That's got to be really, really exciting, for people. And the world's changing. I know that there's elements of artificial intelligence. We're not going to get over people's heads, but you're really putting together something completely proprietary that's never really been done before, and giving people an opportunity to be in sort of this self-driving business. And I think that's powerful.
But let's do some justice to those, let's say, seasoned marketers, okay, or they know the details at least, or they have their fair share of the knowledge and experience. Now, we're going to assume they're not coming to OnPassive as an opportunity. They're coming to OnPassive as a platform, a vehicle they want to use to build a business. And that is another primary reason of the manufacturing of OnPassive, is where I have been on this side for the most part of this journey, and I know what it takes to build a business. So you're talking to somebody who's not a CEO behind a desk and just thinking, what can I sell? I am one who's been in the field, and I know exactly what we wished for. And for the most part, the tools are presented. They go around profitability to the owners of it, and it's hard to find everything in one place. So you quickly realize this is just something wrapped up quickly packaged. If it sounds familiar, how many times you like product launch, or this is how to make a campaign. So if we realize what this essentially says, they're saying, put up anything there and put a price on it, and this is how you make a campaign. So they're not focused if they're actually solving a problem or giving a genuine solution to anything there. So they're simply focused on making a profitable campaign with a starting point, ending point, not a lifetime solution, and not targeting anyone buy it, okay, we just want to sell as much as we can. So that is the problem, the engineering of everything I witnessed. So there's no lack of intelligence or artificial intelligence there. There's no lack of programmers or people who can put all the products we want. It's just lack of ethics, I would say, and lack of vision for somebody to focus on the value before on the profit and the return, the financial return to it. So I know exactly what we need. There are so many things that we see included with packages. I think they're just included there just because. I have no idea why. They're easy, they're cheap, or they're available. And we're paying a price. Again, if we go back to the vehicles or to the car jargon now, there are so many features we never use, okay? And this is how we end up. We see so many things, but what are we using? OnPassive, we focused from the very beginning. If it's not needed, it's not there. And if it's not there, not in OnPassive, you actually don't need it. So it's not a matter of impressing and showing what we can do. There's nothing we cannot do. So let's put that out clear. There is nothing we cannot do. There's enough resources and knowledge and everything. So we could put hundreds and hundreds of tools, but do we really need them? Would we ever use them? Okay, that is the bottom line. Okay, or how many people could actually utilize them? With that being said, OnPassive focused on the tools that simply help you build, duplicate any business, whether it's online, offline, brick and mortar style, even a nonprofit organization, somebody wanting to build, what tools do we need? Like you said, autoresponder is essential. You have to have it. You have to have also communication tools such as a webinar platform, such as a chat platform. You have to have texting, inboxing, all those basic crucial tools must be there. And not only that, place and inclusive with the prices, with the packages. So all of that inclusive. Now, you may not be interested in the OnPassive business model or the pay plan. So it will give you the ability to display any business or businesses for as many as you want. So we're actually not competing with any company out there because we're not primarily a business opportunity. We are a smart marketing solution before we are an income opportunity. We're an income opportunity for those who don't have a business. So we tie it in with an income plan, which is one of a kind, not even to mention that. But those who have other businesses or multiple, because you recently realized that most of us don't trust one business. So we have to have multiple businesses. Of course, we are tempted and attracted to the concept of multiple income streams. At the same time, isn't it wonderful to have one platform? You have to have your domain name hosting. You have to have, so not everybody having the same domain all over OnPassive.com. That would just not go so far. And we have to have the ability to attract nonstop traffic, qualified people. Now, if we stop right there and don't complete the cycle with traffic, that's another issue. The presentation, you have to have a way to like have endless supply of unique websites, pages, marketing materials, video, and all of the graphic that is also done and provided. And those marketers who know how to create their own, like a drag and drop style or editor that is everything done just a few clicks here and there, 20 seconds, 60 seconds, you have your own custom funnel that is also available. So you see that now our purpose is, if you're in OnPassive, there's absolutely no reason for you to look outside, whether to spend another tool or to, there's absolutely everything all in one, and the scalable. And I wouldn't even want to go to the social aspect. You don't even need to go to Facebook, LinkedIn, all those channels, because we created our own. And with OnPassive, there's more. You don't need Skype. You don't need to have all those. This exact webinar platform we're using now, we will not need it inside of OnPassive. So it's absolutely everything you need in one stop, and it's inclusive. So, and for using that, we get paid. And of course, you choose how to utilize it. For those marketers, they can build their own businesses. At the same time, it's safer for them because they never have to depend on the existence or the success or failure of a business, because businesses can be changed inside of their platform, and they would never change the brand. So let's say if your brand is ericgreen.com, just for the sake of illustration here, this would be your permanent brand. You never have to change. If I spoke with you 5 years ago, I am almost sure you have a different business than what you did 5 years ago, but that's not going to be the case with OnPassive. If I speak with you 5 months from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're always going to have your brand, ericgreen.com. That is your permanent brand. Now, inside of it, you feel free, based on the facts, you would add, remove, as you wish, day and night, the businesses. So for those who are outside your OnPassive, they don't know what you have in-house unless they come inside, and they're not going to be hurt because there are options, and of course they are backed up with OnPassive pay plan. If something goes south, which they will, we all know there's a very short lifespan and shelf life time for the businesses that we see out there. Sadly, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but with OnPassive, it's not going to be. You could just try all you want from the income with OnPassive. You'll be protected. If something doesn't do well, you could just remove it anytime. You keep what's good, and you never have to start all over again. So your database, the 5 people that you get today in 2019, they're going to be in your business, and that is a true residual high retention business model. I hope this is clear because this is powerful. Okay, this is absolutely the last business that we need to do, and it's not going to compete with anything out there. We're not competing with anything. If they have a good business, if they have a good product, if they have a good legit business model, we are going to assist them to be unstuck or to duplicate finally or to have a higher retention. That's why most business owners will see the vision. Many of them are taking a position early on with us because they understand the power of being unstuck or not to be oversaturated. You have to have like a permanent, not just occasional uh, exposure to your business. And that's what we have. So we're going to supply the fuel. We're given the vehicle that is turned on. Of course, those who like to venture with it and be creative, it is there. Those who are, whether intimidated or they don't have the skill, the knowledge, or maybe the time to do it, or they're happy with the way it is, they never have to touch anything. Simply come on board, get yourself in, and it's simply plug and play. I love the concept. It's just plug and play. And if you don't do anything, it's gonna run. If you do, it's gonna just run faster, or it's not gonna hurt what you do, and you never have to build your business again. This is the last business or marketing platform that you need.
Well, and that's what's powerful and that's what I saw, that it's based around being a generic platform that, again, there is no competition here, because if, whether you're a seasoned internet marketer and you're into multiple income streams and you're going to promote multiple different programs, or you're a network marketer and maybe, obviously, even in the world of network marketing, they change opportunities from time to time. You may be doing a business today, and in 3 years, you may be doing a different network marketing business if you really like that. You may be a small business owner. So OnPassive essentially is going to be this all-in-one tool suite that an individual can use from this point moving forward, that will always have not a million different tools, but the tools that being in this industry for so long, the tools that really make a difference, that they really need if they want to leverage those tools to go out and promote their business, to get, and to duplicate their business. It's going to have the very, very best tools available, all within one marketing system. And that's really, really, that is powerful. But the other side of this is the system itself is also the product. The main product is traffic. So the system itself you have set up, because there's a lot of marketing systems out there. There's, that has tool suites. There's tons of them, right? There are different things that some have more than others and that sort of thing. There's, they may have, you can go out and build funnels and it has a few other features and that's it. Or this one has this, or this one has this. But it's still the same problem. For someone that comes into a system like that, they still run into the same problem. Even if they learn how to use those tools, they still then have to figure out, okay, how do I get traffic? How do I get eyeballs to my business? And with OnPassive, you not only do you have this amazing tool suite that's going to be released, but you have the traffic side covered as well, right? So you can go out and get those unique visitors to their programs or that sort of thing, if they decide to, promote multiple programs outside of promoting the OnPassive opportunity or marketing system. And that, I think, is really powerful and what's lacking out there. And that's what I'm blown away with, because it's one thing to come in and find, phenomenal tools and great systems, but, to also be able to have the traffic side covered as well, I think is ingenious. So can you talk maybe a little bit about that and how the traffic piece will work?
Absolutely. So before we move on to the next topic, Eric, let's kind of simplify it just in case somebody got confused or overwhelmed. So online or digital marketing is obviously a more efficient option now. I don't know when was the last time that you bought a newspaper or you looked for an opportunity through the Sunday paper or on TV, or obviously we have new modalities today and new gadgets and new lifestyle requires we have to be up to that. So digital marketing is the way to go for anything, absolutely, even for a presidential or political campaign. That focus is. So cyber life is absolutely becoming not just a secondary option in our life. It's the main option for any business or any exposure needed. Most people are online. Half of the global population, if they're adults or connected, or they are some connected to the online. I believe the number is around 3+ billion people who go regularly online. There's no bigger crowd. I mean, there's no country, there's no let's say arena that can fit that many people, only the World Wide Web. And because of that, okay, we have to make sure if we want to succeed in a business or building any organization, we have to build it around the digital world today. And it's that simple. It is, you need tools, okay, like communication tools, and you have to have a concept or a message or a business model that you want to attract to, and you want to have an audience to it. So the method, the receivers, and the business itself. So those three elements, and we made sure that is all inclusive, and that is included with the OnPassive concept. So those who want to get it very, let's say, plain English concept, you need a set of tools that you may need to learn how to use them typically, okay? There's no can build a business without tools, okay? With the exception with OnPassive, we made sure they're automated. They're like on autopilot, just like cruise, and they fly or by themselves. So it is set to cruise by or to be on autopilot by themselves. That's by default. So the tools are available, all the tools. The business itself is available for those who don't know, which is something very original and proprietary plan. Everything we have is kind of breakthrough, unique, and not a copycat simply. And the last element is let's say the exposure part, which is we call visitors, or you want to call it traffic. So if we supply those three pillars, main pillars, a good business, viable business, a good efficient tool set that is set on autopilot, fueled with endless and unlimited amount of traffic and visitors to your business. All right. And you choose what to sell and what to recruit. There's no goal is too big or too small with OnPassive structure. So we're going to go about fuel. So or the leads or the traffic. So what we do is simply we have prepaid traffic gains, okay? Such as when people come to OnPassive, we have a few packs. We're not going to get into the details or the numbers, but simply each package will provide, along with the tools and the pay plan and all the other benefits with the OnPassive packages, there is a certain amount of guaranteed visitors to your sites that we know. and we're actually providing the sites and building them daily. So while you're minding your own life, we are pushing traffic to your links. And that way, whether you touch it or not, your business is going to grow. And this supply simply comes from our most, I would say, knowledge and experience in this arena. I have I've been fortunate enough to work with several lead generation companies, whether traffic or digital marketing or even top technology campaigns. So I'm familiar with that. I know the resources, and I said, wouldn't it be great? So I know how to do it, but most kind of lack the knowledge and the resources or the budget. So with the price that we pay to the packages, we have a certain amount that goes. So we're actually not saying there is no selling, there's no recruiting. That right there would be unethical or would be illegal. So there is selling, there is recruiting. With one exception, the company is doing that. So we're prepaying for those. It's like you hire me to do any, let's say, professional task at your place work, but I bring my tools. I do everything. So you pay me a cut price, but everything is inclusive, along with the ingredients, such as the traffic. So that coming along with that. So we're paying for it, prepaying for it, and all we do is obviously we use our connections and our massive resources, okay, and provide. There's not a small or big number again with the traffic we can provide. Now, for the first time, I'm going to spill the beans out of respect to this very special interview, and I thank you, Scott, for making this happen. I want to mention this. So we know that the whole concept is based about how much traffic we can supply and not to be oversaturated. So there is something I want to mention within the inside. I don't put a lot of attention to it. It will self-duplicate, okay, in a way that when any particular, whether founder or an affiliate within OnPassive platform, every time they achieve a new rank within their income or organization growth, they will have a re-entry. It's basically the bonus is given them more options. So we will have multiple positions for the same number of people, which will continue to renew itself. It will not be stuck. So let's say just a flat number, we have 1 million people, we could end up having 20 million positions. You see, that alone, even if we don't bring new people, it's perpetual and like a ripple effect. Once we have that center formed in a strong way, it will continue to build and expand itself. That's one side of it. The other side of it, I don't want to get over excited about this is kind of my passion. When we are working around the clock on, our goal is to own the marketing resource. So instead of hiring a company and buying and at a high rate those clicks or those guaranteed visitors, we're working actually, I'm telling you a fact, to acquire those companies, totally purchase them, own them, and our marketing department will run all those campaigns in-house. So that's why we have. And what we have so far, I'm going to give you a very factual example. If I was prepared or expected I'll be this excited, I would have shown results. But happy to do off the record. We ran a testing campaign on the 15th of this month, May. So this is not going to be evergreen maybe session. So I'm putting a date here throughout the 19th of May, about 4 days roughly. All right. And our target, we didn't put an ending time. We put an ending. How long does it take us to generate 1 million targeted, let's say, opt-in or let's say form filled new op seekers, real targeted people, qualified people who are willing to pay minimum of a few $100s if they would find the right business. So we surveyed them and all of that. So it took roughly 4 days to generate 1 million. Okay, so that's the progress. Now there are some lags. I want to be open and transparent. Okay, so some of them provided the phone number, depends on the method that we use. We have so many channels and networks that we utilize to generate the traffic. Okay, there's enough people, we know they are there. It's just a matter of reading. Now there's some we have their phone number, some we have their email address, and some both. Okay, the vast majority we have their both records, plus all other details from address, from name, full name, all of that. No problem. So we're fine tuning that, and our is to get to where we can. That's another channel. That's an extra channel where we could create. Why not create? Which is going to be a record, okay? But it's possible. Remember the man who 1 mile in 4 minutes, okay? So this will be the first, obviously, and it is possible that we're very confident, well on our way to reach the goal, which is 1 million new registrations, okay, per day. I'm not talking about who sign up for OnPassive. They join the list that we're building. You know the power of that, and we do the percentage. Now with that is going to come a challenge when we're after 10 days, after 20 days. Now we're talking about 30, 20 millions. I know this will probably make your head spinning, those who are listening, or spin, because you've never seen this, but this is the magnitude of that's why there's a lot of work involved with this giant project. Is not typical. Everything you're going to hear is going to be unique and different, but it's possible. So we set high standards, and we're very confident we are very close to delivering, and in fact over delivering. So let's recap. 1 million, that's separate the guaranteed clicks that we pay for, okay, to we're going to run in-house campaigns, okay, that will deliver or generate about 1 million new contacts, hopefully every day. Okay, if we don't achieve it the first month or second or third, at some point in our journey, we will get there. We have that confidence. Now, with that, it's compounded, meaning after we're talking about millions or hundreds of millions of contacts who are on our database that are being contacted constantly. You take it from there.
Well, I'm probably like Scott over here. My head is spinning. I mean, that's absolutely insane. I mean, it's traffic is the name of this game. I don't, and like you said, visitors and eyeballs on your opportunities, and that's where everyone struggles. That's where that's where marketers either have to spend years trying to figure out how to do that, or they have to spend a lot of money trying to figure out how to do that, and to have a system that is going to have all these amazing tools, but then to have that this insane ability to drive that type of traffic and to generate those types of leads that can be pushed right back into the OnPassive members, whether you are promoting the OnPassive system itself, or whether you're promoting whatever program or programs that you're in. That is absolutely insane. That is and that's why when I was talking to us, with Scott, and I said, look, even if these guys can deliver 25% of what they're saying, it's still light years ahead of anything that I've really seen out there in the marketplace, in this respect. So,
but let's remind everybody.
On an hour.
Let's remind everybody. This is also important. I want everybody to realize this. Okay, say we don't even generate one traffic. So I just want you to realize how powerful is this, and it's win-win no matter how we play it. Okay, so there's in-house traffic. There is also purchase paid traffic, and there are some other companies that will be exclusive to OnPassive just their mission as we launch, just to provide us with any amount of traffic they can. So this is one thing, but let's put it this way. There are definitely somewhere between 300 to 600 million active networkers. If we go to, and there are 600 million professionals around the globe are using that platform. So let's say even half of that, they're definitely, why they go there, they're interested to connect with some professionals or to expose their business somehow. And spread their messages, regardless whether they're writers, authors, anything. And with that, we already have the market that is looking for what we have. Say all the cars or vehicles in the United States of America. I believe a couple of years ago I searched that. It was probably about 150 million, and the number of houses. Imagine we're an item or an ingredient that every vehicle or every home needs. Same concept. We are like a tool that every, or rather a platform that every marketer, multi-level marketer, and professional affiliate, whoever will, or business owner will be able, students and teachers and coaches, mentors, they would use our communication platforms, even socially. So we have the market. When you offer something that is above in value, what's out there is kind of a fresh concept at a, I'm going to have to say, ridiculous rate or price of it is already inclusive, that we don't pay for it. We already have a huge market for that. So even if we touch a fraction of the market, okay, a fraction of the action, say 10%, 5% of the existing market, without having to invent anything, okay, we still have a huge success ratio here.
Yeah, Ash, it's really unbelievable. You know, and I think it's, again, I always go back to intuition, and I have a great feeling, you know, and I know you've been working diligently on this for some time, and it's your passion. You put a lot of time, effort, and energy. I don't know. I have a great feeling, and I have even a better feeling now that I've been on this call with you. So I'm super excited. I know we've taken up an hour of your time, so I want to be respectful of your time. I want to close it out. I'd love to bring Scott on to close it out. The reason is, you know, I know Scott has been, and I tell everyone this: if you're listening, guys, if you're an internet marketer, if you're seasoned, if you're a newbie, there's really no risk in getting set up as a founding member. Okay, it's a one-time 97. Maybe Scott, you can talk a little bit quickly about the benefits of that. But you know, listen, guys, it's sort of a no-brainer. You know, we don't know exactly when, you know, the launch is and all that, but that doesn't matter. What matters is this is actually being worked on. This is something that doesn't exist in the marketplace, you know, and you know, to be a part of something that could disrupt the industry, could change your life. If you're here before it really takes off, and that's what we're looking at, something that's going to disrupt the marketplace, and be something that, like you said, Ash, anyone in the home-based business space, network marketer, affiliate marketers, internet marketers, small business owners, you name it, they're going to want access to a platform like this, you know, to promote their businesses, and then to have the traffic piece on the back end. I mean, it's just an amazing vision, and
you get paid to use us.
Yes, and we've been talking about the ability that this could be life-changing income just for using the system and leveraging the system. So it's absolutely unbelievable. But Scott, I know you've been in this with Ash for a while. You've been promoting this, and you do do a lot of the webinars. You've been in the industry 25 years. I'd love for you to give everybody sort of your take and why, you know, you've decided, because, you know, you've been with this for quite a while prior to it actually going live and launching. So you have a rock solid belief in Ash and the vision and the company. And I think it'd be great to kind of close out and for people to hear, why you've hitched your wagon to this and why you're so excited about it.
And
Yeah,
before you
well,
say it, Scott, please don't look at the clock, because many times we just electively set the time as our own enemy. And we have to realize good things like this take time. And I would be skeptical if I told you, okay, we're going to start working on this project, and 2 weeks later we deliver it. It's complete. I'd be very skeptical. I mean, what can you do in a short time? So when it takes time, that's a good sign we're making something original, something that is going to long. So please don't look at the time, because if somebody's serious about this, we're dead serious, and this is our life and our passion. So we want to give as much content, and it's worth it. I mean, so that's my point. So hopefully people will find it worth their time. I understand time is money, but this is a big deal. It's a real life-changing an hour or so or minutes in their life. We waste that watching unnecessary things that will not necessarily impact our life daily. Rather than watching news or what's on TV or the funny stuff that we see every day. So this is real. Go for it, Scott. I apologize for
oh,
taking up.
no problem. Not at all. Listen, I just feel so privileged to be part of this vision and this dream that is now becoming reality very quickly. And I am also one who nobody, including my wife, would qualify me as a patient individual. And I just really bought into the vision of what Ash and his team is designing here, and I realized the importance of this. Now, I'm going to be 63, and Eric is so complimentary. I've actually been in the industry for 45 years. Just the last 27 have been full time. So
Oh, wow.
I've seen everything there is. I really have, and I've heard a lot of promises. One of the things that everybody needs to understand is one of the most important is been anything but incredibly transparent with what he has said. For instance, he said, we want to get this launched. We want to launch OnPassive. Obviously, everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to have access. But he goes, I'm not going to give you a specific time. I've got a specific time that I would like to target for, but I'm not going to say anything about it. We're going to launch this when it's ready. And one of the other things that Ash has always said is, I don't like to fix things. So when we build something, we want to build it to work and to last. And obviously, to build it so it is something that won't be in disarray and won't work. I'm sure Ash could have launched this project at some degree many months ago, but it would have been far less than what is happening now. So
true.
at 62 years of age, I truly do not have the energy nor the desire to start at ground zero again. I know, Eric, in our conversations, we've talked about the number of times we've had our hearts broken. Well, everybody that has been in this industry for any amount of time has had their hearts broken. And even though we know there are no guarantees in life, the bottom line is let's get a system that actually works from the very beginning, and also works for everybody, because what's being designed here is a self-perpetuating compensation plan. Listen, we've done a 1-hour interview here, and this is so powerful. For those of you that are listening to this full interview, have you heard us talk one time about the compensation? That will keep you awake at night. I know at least part of this compensation program. How many times do you go to a presentation or a webinar when 95% is built on hype and compensation, how much money you're going to make. Tonight, for 1 hour, yet you have heard nothing, and we're about it because
So you're
you're going.
saying we're focused more on the solution and we're like a product and services driven company rather than just we start talking right away from, about the money. Unfortunately, most companies do that, or programs, I don't call them companies, just savvy programs like any casual individual would go and bring a page online and they say, oh, okay, or like a purchased, refurbished script that is so you get a dozen for $100 or so, and they say I have a business, and I tell them, relax, buddy, you don't have a business, you just have a page among billions and billions of online, and that's not a true genuine business model. So you're trying to say, Scott, we could stop right there without even talking about the money aspect of it, and we have a business because we're providing a concrete solution, a value that will be used by the millions. And on top of that, and yet we have a compensation plan that is one of a kind. But that's not the primary value. It just top it and to complete the business concept.
Yeah, absolutely, Ash. The opportunity is always going to be there. The income is unlimited with this powerful compensation plan. I've seen almost every compensation plan, and I don't think I've seen anything just in its first tier of what's been released to our eyes that has ever been done before. But it's pretty amazing for those that are listening to this recording that we're not here to talk about that because it's all going to take care of itself. But what we're talking about is something that is so badly and most needed in our industry, and that is the opportunity for each and every person, regardless of age or ability, to be able to come to a platform like OnPassive and know that you're going to succeed. So with the tools, with the development, with the oncoming launch, with the traffic, with everything that's coming, it is going to literally explode. And mainly what it's going to do, it's going to change and rock this industry. I remember when I was talking to you, Ash, back several months ago, and we talked about the potential of what we thought OnPassive would look like after its first 1 year and 2 years and 3 years. And we really, truly do know and believe with all our hearts that this is going to be a place that for those of you that choose to join Eric and the team, become a founding member, that would be the best decision that I think you could ever make. Because just imagine, we're not quite 30,000 founding members yet. And when I talk to Ash, when I talk to other people that are internet marketers, experts, they're believing for millions of members in OnPassive. And you start thinking about what your income, just because you took steps at the very beginning to get involved with OnPassive, believing as a founding member and being patient enough to wait to give birth to this beautiful internet marketing platform that's going to be massive and is going to change everybody's life that gets involved. And even for those that we may even label, forgive me, I don't want to call people lazy, but when you use the word like passive and hands-free, it does bring that forth. But listen, we know that 80% of the people that start a home-based business have never, and I mean never, recruited somebody in their cold market. So that means that only 2 out of 10 have ever enrolled somebody. So that tells you the 2 greatest problems. We talk about this on all of our webinars is people are not salespeople. They don't want to be salespeople. The majority, I should say. I love it. And they're not recruiters. They don't want to pick up the phone. They don't have the skill set. Now set this, set it and forget it, and watch over time as your organization grows. It comes with a money back guarantee, so you have 0 risk. We're looking for people that understand that this is being built as the last business the last platform, the last marketing that you're ever going to need to about. If that's not good enough, then obviously you need to keep looking for what you feel is the best match. But for
They're
me,
either incapable or unmotivated, I would say.
yeah.
Everybody has a desire, but it boils down to ability and passion or motivation, and of course, find the right to find something that is actually functional. But
and,
we don't want to
and
close. Go ahead, Scott. I want to say one thing to Eric. You would appreciate that.
yeah, the people that we are attracting are the people like Eric and people at that level. They see it, they hear it, and then they get it and they understand it. And we've all been out there. Doesn't matter whether you're 30 or 50 or 63 like me. It is time for something different. There's just not a lot of good choices out in the industry anymore. And I'm just totally sold out. Looking so forward to the day that we turn the key on in this beautiful vehicle and people start getting paid every single day, every single minute in real time. And this is going to virtually, I believe, do one thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say. There's a great problem in the industry in traditional network marketing, which is really my background. I'm not an online marketer. I do know a little bit, but I am basically a old school network marketer. The greatest challenge in 99% of the businesses out there, and the reason for the incredibly high failure rate for people starting, besides not being salespeople and not wanting to recruit, is attrition. So if I go in and I'm going to get in a program that's going to require me to spend $100 to $200 a month to buy a bunch of products or services that for the most part, most people never use. And then I'm not a recruiter. There's no tools. There's a replicated website that everybody has with no traffic. And we wonder why we average about 70% attrition in this industry. This is the future. This is the correction to that problem. And this is why when I look at this, I look at it as a business platform that will perpetuate its own growth and will be around long after I'm gone, and that it's also one that I can leave to my family. A founder and believing in what Ash and his team is doing. So, Eric, I want to thank you for obviously taking the lead and wanting to do this call. Ash, thank you so much for jumping on here. And I hope you can just continue to be blessed, and we just look forward to the updates and the unveiling of some of the things that are happening with the announcement that we're going to start seeing a little bit more that's talked about during the month of June, and we look forward to the day that we're launching, I should say, leaving the dock and launching out into the great wild blue sea of network marketing and home-based businesses.
Can you imagine, Scott, if we started like 2 weeks ago with OnPassive and we missed out on having Eric Green with us as a founder?
Absolutely.
So there's always a good reason. I'm so glad that we have him on board. But one tiny thing, I just want to make sure we include this on this recording, and you may close it out. I would like to speak with you off the record after we stop the recording. This will be obviously with our founding members, if it's okay with you, Eric and Scott, and also you may utilize this. This is definitely some of it, like some new information and statistics I shared for the first time, but let's open our eyes to one major factor here. As Scott said, it's the solution to a broken concept here, and that alone is going to make it a meaningful, valuable business model. Okay, when I said the existing users of the industry is quite enough to what we let's bring up something practical, and I want to ask you if you have any idea. Just, you don't have to answer anyone, but in your mind, you've seen maybe Zoom, GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, AnyMeeting, Webinar Jam, all those webinar platforms. I don't know if you have any idea how many users they have, actual paying people that pay. The other one by GVO, Cheap Webinars or something, Cheap Meeting, I believe. Okay, so the number statistically is tens of millions of users. They're paying hundreds or some thousands of dollars with limited features. Can you imagine that feature is included with OnPassive values, many values, and how many will just be attracted to come to a place where this one thing, we top everything out there, obviously is 2019, why not utilize the newest technology and the sharpest people we can reach, and that alone is going to be a good reason for possibly, I just want to open your mind, to tens of millions of users. Why? Because we have a better product. Not that what we have there is bad, but there is always room for enhancement and plus addition. So we top everything out there at something that is already purchased or included. Then you do the math. Just that aspect alone, how many millions would come for that platform? Now add to it the communications and the other. There are things that people use. Aweber, Get Response, campaign manager. The SendGrid, or all the webinar platforms. We know them out there. How many millions of users they have and the database. When you have something even fresher and that is included, do the math, add a few more millions. Now, every tool potentially will attract enough people to have this go. And the last piece, I think Eric would appreciate this and will be excited along with his listeners and viewers. Maybe we didn't do justice to that. Just focus on the business owners that companies, let's say an existing company, a good one. I'm not saying, one below average, something that is viable. It just, their issue is with duplication, with traffic, with having that. So now it already happened. Okay. The owners took a position with us. Now, needless to say, with OnPassive, and OnPassive will become the first step in their back office. Let's say any company, and they take a position and they put that as a step one in the business. This is what smart business owners will do. It will help their users and affiliates to generate more income, which can result higher packages purchasing. So instead of going to the minimum just to get in, now they have the funds to go at a higher or the highest available level. Now it will minimize the pressure when things go south with that company or a bad week. Okay, now because they're not entirely depending on that specific business now, because there's something going on with OnPassive in terms of income, motion, that is keeping them, so that will kind of relieve them and make them breathe and minimize the pressure of their shoulders for those business owners, because there's something is backing their primary business up. And say something for any reason, whether FTC issues or legality, something goes south with that company, there's a little bit of a sense of security and protection to the business owner, because they're not going to be left out in the dark totally. There is, again, the back OnPassive, which is plan A and B to every business model out there. So smart business owners will get in early on and help them get unstuck, duplicate, most of them are oversaturated. This is what they have. They've been spinning around or hovering around the same customer base number, not moving up or down, or just maybe more down, and now this will revive their business. I can go on and on about the benefits for business owners, sharp and business owners will make the right decision and come early on. Now, they're going to profit from their business anyway, but add to it the financial benefit and business benefit from OnPassive. This is huge. So it's all yours, and I appreciate your time again. But thank you, Eric. If you want me to stop the recording, let me know. But I like to just say bye to you off the record. And Scott.
Absolutely. Well, we will definitely. I appreciate you guys' time. And the other thing you mentioned there, going to a company that has maybe a large, user base. They're not only getting that injection of the potential additional income to their users, but they're also now have the ability to use all of this incredible suite of tools. And so that opens up a completely different, marketplace for the people that can go out and set those types of deals up. I could go to a network marketer that's got a team of, 10,000 people. Listen, do you want to put more money in their pocket, and do you also want to put them in a marketing suite and put tools in front of them that can go out and drive more traffic, eyeballs, and awareness to your existing primary business, so you can double, triple your existing organization. So there's so many different opportunities here. But the one thing I wanted to close it out with. So when I say that, like if you're an experienced networker, experienced affiliate marketer, internet marketer, you need to be here. You need to be positioned before this goes live and grab a founder's position. But we talked about the newbie, and we talked about, hands-free and the fact that sometimes these folks struggle. Well, one thing I've know in this industry is when you take someone that's brand new that doesn't like to sell, they don't like to recruit, they're not into any of those things, and most are not. But the problem with that is that most of them have never had any type of success. Well, now when you put them in this system and they see success for the first time, honestly, those people become the best promoters you could ever have, because they are so excited that for the first time they've actually had success because they've been involved in this program and, were promised this or told that. And all of a sudden they're now in a system that is actually producing a result for them. And those people become your best mouthpieces and your best promoters. And that's why I'm excited, because, you can find the big 3%ers and the guys with the big list, and you can bring those people into this program, and they can spread the word because they have lists and they know how to do their own advertising. They know how to market. But if you want tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people to come into a deal, you need those new people to duplicate. And that's what you've put together here. You've put a system together that's going to allow those people to create some success, probably for the first time ever, which is really going to create the mass duplication, which is then going to draw everybody in the industry who's anybody who doesn't want to miss out on that wave, and so that will attract all the 5%ers, the 3%ers, the 1%ers, because they're seeing the newbies and the new people creating success inside of a program. And that's what I'm excited about. I think you've covered all the bases here from top to bottom to really go out and dominate the industry from top to bottom with this. So I'm super excited. Appreciate both of you guys. Guys, get set up as a founding member. I don't know if wherever you're listening to this, if you know me and I've posted this in a group, great. If this was posted through, Scott somewhere or Ash somewhere, just encourage all you guys to get set up as a founding member, and appreciate you gentlemen, and look forward to the future with OnPassive.
Thank you very much.